Hello and welcome to the NORSEFORCE Valhalla Cup Series, brought to you by Blaze Pizza, The Butt Kicker, Next Level Racing, and Crockett Creek Beef Jerky. We are here live tonight for race number 8 from the Daytona International Speedway. 200 miles here under the lights at Daytona International, and we thank you for joining us here tonight. It's going to be a good one here. Some of the best drivers in iRacing competing in this series. And right now they are currently completing their qualifying. Matt Kemp currently on the racetrack, the number 48 machine. Trying to get a solid lap time down here, and we'll see what kind of lap he puts in. Right now sitting at the top of the charts, Anthony Burrows, your points leader, who comes into tonight's event. Currently 19 points above Connor Horn in second. Matt Kemp comes in third in points, just 38 behind the leader, and it looks like he is trying to start at the back here, putting in a lap time, but not going to be a very fast one, as Derek Justice doing a very similar tactic. Looks like he is just creeping along here, 5 miles an hour, 4 miles an hour. Definitely not a bad strategy, though, as if you are familiar with NASCAR and these cup cars, it's pretty tricky at Daytona. It can be a real handful around other drivers, and everybody is so closely packed that makes for some very exciting moments and some very tense racing. And this is race number 8 of the season. Caden Rush, last week's winner, is not here tonight, so it looks like he won't be able to repeat since he is not in the field. But some serious contenders in tonight's race. We have Jimmy Mullis, who is not elected to qualify just yet, and we'll see what kind of a race he has. It really is just luck of the draw at these racetracks, as the drivers completing qualifying going to be jumping into the grid here. Let's see where your favorite drivers are starting tonight, as we let these guys start to get onto the grid. Let's pull up our starting grid for Daytona. Starting on the pole, your points leader, Anthony Burrows, a great lap time, 48.687, and he takes the top spot. Chris Samard, that number 37 V-Speed machine, looking for a solid run here tonight. It has been a few weeks since he's had a pretty decent run, but he's going to roll off on the outside of the front row in second position. Rolling off third is Jeremy Miller, that number 30 machine. Wade Hustad going to be starting in the fourth position. Starting in fifth, it's Kirk Marble. Sixth is going to be Ian Smith. Seventh will be Eric Royce. Eighth will be Nicholas Short. Briar LaPrade going to be rolling off in the ninth position, and Jonathan Hernandez rounds out the top 10. In 11th, it's Josh Lambert. 12th is going to be Dylan Parker. 13th will be Connor Horn. 14th is Keith Mayato. Matt Kemp going to be starting in the 15th position. Zach Nichols starting in 16th after a great race last week at Chicagoland. Dylan Alt going to be rolling off in 17th. Derek Justice going to be starting in the 18th position. Jimmy Mullis going to be rolling off in 19th here tonight. Mark Carrer starting in the 20th position. And a small field here for the NORSEFORCE Valhalla Cup Series. Just 20 drivers going to be rolling off. And 80 laps in tonight's event. 200 miles around this 2.5 mile speedway. And if we take a look at our track conditions, nice and comfortable here in Daytona. 74-degree air temp and 77-degree track temp. So not going to be any issues with the cars sliding around as far as I can tell. And with all this downforce and the lower horsepower that these cars now make, means that they will be pretty stuck to the racetrack. And just waiting to see that pace car roll off, and there he goes. And we want to, of course, thank all our sponsors again. That's Blaze Pizza, Next Level Sim Racing, The Butt Kicker, as well as Crockett Creek Beef Jerky. Want to give a big shout out to all of those sponsors. We want to welcome everyone who's tuned in here tonight. Thanks for stopping in. This is V-Speed, And we are bringing you the NORSEFORCE Valhalla Cup Series right here on Twitch. You can find us here multiple times throughout the week, broadcasting a few different leagues. And you can also find us on YouTube, where we post race replays. So if you want to check out the action from Chicagoland last week, we just put that race up on YouTube, so you can go watch it. And that was an exciting event. Came down to really the last 5 laps or so before we could really decide it. So check out our channel over there on YouTube. Give us a follow over there. You can also find us on Facebook, where we post announcements for each and every broadcast, so you can stay up to date with what we're doing throughout the week. You can also find us on Instagram as well as Twitter, where we post those same announcements as well as new merchandise, special events, and on-site reporting. So you can keep up with what V-Speed's doing, what these drivers are doing throughout the week. And Anthony Burrows with Chris Samard leading the field out of turn number 4. And we will be getting the green flag this time by. Cheer on your favorite driver. Let them know you're out there. And we'll see where they end up here. Just 20 drivers in tonight's race. And we are underway. Green flag in the air from Daytona. Anthony Burrows gets him going out in front. Chris Samard up on the high line with the push from Wade Hustad. And they will be side by side here, about 5 rows deep. The bottom line taking those positions away right now. Anthony Burrows at the top spot. The 72 of Eric Royce going to turn Kirk Marble. On lap number 1, they already wreck it here. Chris Samard with heavy damage on the left side. And I think a few drivers calling it quits already. But already under caution. Let's take a look at what happened there. And we're going to look at the number 61 machine and the 72, I believe, Eric Royce on the back bumper. Just giving him a big push, goes on the apron, bumper hooks him. They go around. Bridal of Prad caught up in this. Connor Horn already torn up here. Keith Mayato, I think, just barely snuck through that. Let's see what it looked like from Connor's perspective. As he goes down low, really nothing he could do. He tags Eric Royce as he went around, and yeah, just a few drivers already caught up here. Keith Mayato, let's see if he did make it through. He was a little distance behind. He could see it happening. Able to step on the brakes and lock it down. Does not touch the outside wall, so good job there avoiding that. But already under caution here. Anthony Burrows is your leader. And 2 drivers have taken it behind the wall. That's Mark Carver and Bridal of Prad already behind the wall. So just saw that he had some damage and takes it behind, but it looks like the field going to bring it down pit lane. Chris Samard with that right side damage as well as left side damage. Really going to have to work on getting that fixed up here under this first caution to at least have a shot at winning tonight's event. Because you do not want any damage here at this aero-sensitive racetrack. Winning the race off pit road is Jeremy Miller, that number 30 Valvoline machine. So he will take over the lead, and we are going to cut to our first commercial break and hear a word from some of our sponsors.
At Crockett Creek Beef Jerky, we don't have fancy Madison Avenue advertising. We don't have famous Hollywood endorsements. We don't have mythical creatures as mascots. See, here at Crockett Creek, we're proud of what we don't have. No artificial preservatives or chemicals, gluten-free, and no added MSG. Just all natural, small batch protein made in the foothills of the Smoky Mountains. Enjoy Crockett Creek Jerky, from our backyard to yours.
With the Butt Kicker Gamer 2, what you see and what you hear is what you feel. Butt Kicker. The future is feeling.
And we are back. The field working their way down the back straightaway into turn number 3. Double file now, getting ready to go after our first caution was brought out there in turn number 2 on lap 1. Definitely unexpected to see these guys stack it up through there, but Eric Royce got a little bit on the apron and caught the back bumper of Kirk Marble and sent him around in front of the field coming out of turn number 2, and a handful of others caught up in this. Looks like most of them able to get their damage fully repaired, but Jeremy Miller leading the field to the green flag here, and we'll bring our ticker up once again so you can follow along with your favorite driver. And Miller, not a great jump. Wade Hustad able to time that just a little bit better. So Hustad gonna lead that lap. Chris Samard ducks down to the inside line behind his teammate Keith Mayato. And that's going to leave Derek Justice out there kind of in no man's land behind these front 3. But there goes the 48 machine of Matt Kemp to the high line, trying to give him some assistance here as they go double file. Looks like the 25 of Dylan Parker down onto the apron, and he is going to drop to the back of the pack here. Actually might be a lap down, not totally sure. We'll have to see when scoring updates as they come around. But at the front, Jeremy Miller, Wade Hustad, nose to nose down into the tri-oval. You see the 46 machine of Jimmy Mullis looking down onto the apron. Not sure where he was going to go. But Mullis right now in the 8th position. And of course, Jimmy, a multiple-time winner here this season. He has 2 wins on the year in the 7 races we've run so far. This is race number 8. So he has won over a quarter of the races run, and just a very good season going for him so far. Currently 5 poles this season as well. So he has won 5 out of the 8 poles that we've run. So great start to the year for him. He comes in here in the 4th position in points, and Jeremy Miller, who is leading, making his 5th start of the season, currently all the way back 36th in points. But how much would a win mean to Jeremy here tonight as he leads this field now through turn 2. Wade Hustad fading just a little bit in this set of corners, but the draft working well for both lines, and they are pretty even in terms of car count as well as their overall speed. The 30 losing ground down the straightaway, but he'll make it back up here in the turn. He's going to hope that 21 of Josh Lambert able to stay close in tow, give him a shove down the front straightaway here. But he's leaving a little bit of a gap. Now gets to the bumper, and Hustad still able to lead as he hangs on there for lap number 7. And we've got fans in chat cheering on Josh Lambert, as well as Derek Justice, Jimmy Mullis, and Eric Royce. So keep an eye on them. Wade Husted now jumps up out of line, maybe giving some air to the 62. Here goes the 21 down onto the apron. Oh, that is not gonna work as he tries to find his way back up onto the racetrack. Josh Lambert almost in trouble there. Not sure what happened. He might have stepped out of line, was maybe overheating. He got a big shove from Ian Smith and tried to take it somewhere, but you can't pass down there, and he got shuffled all the way out and had to stay down on the apron, really lost a lot of ground, and now he is going to be out of touch with the lead pack. So move Josh Lambert to the back here as things have kind of separated a tiny bit. We see Ian Smith jump to the high line. Husted goes up there to block in front of Jeremy Miller. And now Anthony Burrows leads Jimmy Mullis on the low line. Big push from Mullis. We'll get the 62 out in front for the moment. But will they be able to carry the speed out of turn number 4? It looks like they will. Anthony Burrows trying to take over the lead here. Husted with a big run in the trial, but Burrows will lead that lap. And side by side they go. Let's take a look from, let's see who's back here. Matt Kemp, the 48 machine. He's got Jonathan Hernandez right there behind him. And they are kind of hanging tough by themselves. Zach Nichols, the Crockett Creek Beef Jerky machine. This is his view of the pack up in front of him. Zach right now in the 15th position after starting in 16th, and he had a great run at Chicagoland. It looked like he was maybe going to catch up to Caden Rush, who ended up winning that race. It came up just a few laps short. He comes into the race 13th in the points standings after a runner-up finish at Chicagoland. His best finish of the season. And he's looking for a repeat here, but not really in a position to do so, as up at the front, Jeremy Miller now on the high line. So those two have basically just switched lines. Husted came down to block Anthony Burrows. And Ian Smith now looking up into that third lane, but maybe just trying to get some air to the nose. And they are losing ground on the high line now. Just 5 cars left up there compared to the 7 down low. And Ian Smith now jumps to the third lane. The 99 machine of Nicholas Short going to push him, and that is going to slow up the outside line dramatically. Here comes Jimmy Mullis now to the outside, trying to make something happen. Just 12 laps into the event, Mullis has found his way forward now, trying to take the lead away. He's going to get a shove here from Jeremy Miller down the back straightaway. Huge run from those drivers up on the high line. You can see how far Mullis got up alongside Husted. Now he has the nose out in front, staying right there alongside him through the corner. This is probably going to lead to a lap lead. And this is your lead pack right here on screen. Oh, the 30 of Miller almost contact with Husted, but Jimmy Mullis drops in line in the bottom row, and he will take the lead away. Jeremy Miller now leading the high line. He's got Derek Justice, that 31 Baskin-Robbins Camaro, right there in his tailgate. The 72 of Eric Royce. In the middle of all of this, he was able to get the damage fixed on that race car and still maintaining a really good speed. And those 3 on the top lane got around Ian Smith and Nicholas Short, who jumped out to the third lane. Obviously, it didn't work for him. And not enough cars to make that happen just yet. And we have gone now 11 laps on these tires and fuel. I believe they should be able to go about 35, maybe 35 on a fuel run. But that will remain to be seen, as Matt Kemp now the last one in this lead pack, just trying to hang on. Zach Nichols back here with Dylan Parker, and they are a little ways up in front of Jonathan Hernandez, who has lost the lead pack as they drive away from him. He's just trying to stay safe, I think, but it is going to cost him a lot of time, and he could end up like Josh Lambert back here, all by himself, like a half a lap down already, 22 seconds behind the leaders as they run 45-second laps. Definitely not where he wants to be. Dylan Alt also back here on the lead lap. He's about 40 seconds back of your leaders, and no hood on the race car of that number 42 proximity machine. At the front though, Jeremy Miller now to the inside. Mullis has a little bit of left front damage. Not sure where that contact was made, but he is up there on the outside line and now slowing up those guys as Jeremy Miller takes the lead. And he will lead a few more laps here. But Mullis powering back around the outside. Derek Justice working there with him. And they are making it happen. Eric Royce up high, racing side by side with Keith Mayato right there in the 6th and 7th positions. And the two V-Speed machines down there, nose to tail, the 36 and 37, as Mayato just barely grazes the apron going into turn number 3. But these guys doing a very good job of keeping it pretty steady here, doing a good job drafting with each other as now they approach Dylan Alt, the lap machine. And this can get pretty hairy sometimes. You see Hustad kind of pinching up the 72, trying to slow him up, but everybody going to slip on past. Alt tags the outside wall, but they will all clear on past. Now the 88 of Jonathan Hernandez, who just took it down pit road. He's going to try and rejoin the pack here, and he might be in the same boat he was even before he went down the pit lane. Possibly connection issues setting him back right now. As this pack still fights it out. Jimmy Mullis able to reclaim the lead from Jeremy Miller. But they go side by side. Here comes Miller back to the outside. He'll gain the lead at the line there. Just 33 thousandths of a second. And he'll drop down in front of Mullis. And that can be very dangerous if you're not totally clear. It's very easy to get turned, and especially in front of the entire pack, that can be just a massive wreck waiting to happen. As right now, everybody pretty much well behaved. Mullis giving a push to the 30. He was looking to try and jump up to that high line, but no room to go as Derek Justice is still out there. Now Mullis peeks up a little more. And we'll see if Derek gives him space. He does now. Does Mullis come up? Eric Royce gives the 31 a shot through the tri-oval. And Jeremy Miller is your leader. Mullis in second. Derek Justice, Wade Hustad, 3rd and 4th. And then Anthony Burrows, Eric Royce, 5th and 6th. But side by side they go, 2 wide, about 5 or 6 rows deep. Jimmy Mullis straight back to the lead. And he's going to get a shot from Jeremy Miller in the corner here. And that can be pretty sketchy. The 30, knowing that this is just back and forth, they're just leapfrogging each other. And they have to time these runs perfectly. The 31 of Derek Justice now up high, getting a big run, big push from Eric Royce. He is alongside the number 30 machine of Jeremy Miller. And 19 laps down, working lap number 20. Still no separation among the top, looks like 15. Dylan Parker, the last one in this group. And then Zach Nichols back here as well. Josh Lambert still on the lead lap in 16th, but 38 seconds off your leaders, and he's coming through the tri-oval, and here come your leaders into the tri-oval now. Jeremy Miller taking the lead away once again. You see Chris Samard peek down low there, maybe get a little fresh air in that 37 machine. As he's working with his teammate here in the mid-pack, trying to get something done. The 99 of Nicholas Short, the 61 of Kirk Marble. up on that high line, losing a bit of ground to the top three, as Derek Justice now leading that line. He's making his way to the front. Eric Royce on his back bumper. Jimmy Mullis has dropped into third in this bottom line, so lost a bit of ground through some kind of an exchange there. The 31 going to lead that lap, so put Derek Justice to the top of the board. As you can hear the number 21 machine of Josh Lambert pass by underneath the camera there. And Wade Hustad leaving a big gap there behind Jeremy Miller. Now timing the run, trying to give him a big push down the straightaway. No, he's leaving room. Maybe trying to anticipate any kind of checkup here, but those front four on the bottom lane not too close together as the top two pulling away. Eric Royce in the middle, now 3 wide. Ian Smith on the high line. And Eric Royce stuck there in the middle. He's going to get a little bit of help from those two up in front, but I don't think it'll be enough before Ian Smith gets around him. We'll have to see here. And Smith will try and drop in line. He will. And Nicholas Short is going to drop down into the bottom lane, seeing that the 21 of Josh Lambert was up there by the wall. If you haven't been to Daytona International Speedway, it's a great facility. I've been there for a few races, and really just an awesome event to attend. The 500 or the shootout. I've been to a couple 500s, saw Trevor Bayne win that one, as well as Jamie McMurray, as Derek Justice once again battling for the lead with Jeremy Miller. But anyways, the 500 that I saw was one of the longest in NASCAR history, if not the longest, where they had to patch the track with cold patch, and eventually it came apart and they had to do it again. But we were just sitting there waiting for that to get fixed, and not a lot of racing action was happening. But we waited for a pretty good one. I believe that was the one Jamie McMurray came out on top. It was a heck of a race. And Jimmy Mullis now up into the second spot on the bottom lane. Anthony Burrows has found his way back forward. And Eric Royce, a bold move to the outside to get out from behind Nicholas Short. Try and catch the draft of Ian Smith and work with that high line. Now he drops back down low, trying to gather as much momentum as possible. And Jimmy Mullis all over the back bumper of Jeremy Miller, pushing him down the straightaway. Justice on the outside. And a nice long green flag run here, 22 laps since these guys were on pit lane, and probably about 10 laps to go before they have to bring it back down for some fresh tires and fuel. And we'll have to see what the strategy is among the drivers, whether they take 2 tires, 4 tires, or no tires. And that will really start to separate the pack. And whoever comes down, on which lap is really going to determine where they come out as well, and how much drafting help they've got. Eric Royce now working the third line up there. And he will drop down in behind Ian Smith once again, not able to make that third lane work, as everybody's still under a blanket. All drivers that are out here on the lead lap, except for Josh Lambert, who has joined in with this pack and hoping for a caution that he is not involved in to get that lucky dog and back on the lead lap. Now let's go on board with Chris Simard and see what it looks like from the inside of that race car. Working in behind his teammate there, Keith Mayato. Simard and Mayato unable to really gain a whole lot of ground, but they have moved forward on that inside line. And right up behind Jimmy Mullis, so finding their way forward slowly but surely as Jeremy Miller continues to lead alongside Derek Justice. They are leading the pack. Ian Smith jumping out of line there, and he'll lose a spot, drop him back to the 12th position. But a little bit of, is that right front damage? I think that's just his paint scheme. Anthony Burrows also dropping back, now in front of Ian Smith, who gives him plenty of space to drop in. And these laps just clicking by here, 45 seconds a lap. Faster than some of the shorter tracks that we go to, like, well, actually about the same as what you'd see at like in Indianapolis or Pocono. Those are a little over 50-second laps usually, and if they were to run around here by themselves, it would be high 40s, low 50s as well. But things going pretty well for these guys as Wade Husted now getting shuffled out of line. That's going to leave a huge gap as Jimmy Mullis jumps from the low line to the middle line. He gives a huge shove to Derek Justice to put that 31 machine out in the lead. And Jeremy Miller now resorting to the help of Keith Mayato and Chris Simard. And Derek Justice jumping down into the low line, but that's going to allow Jimmy Mullis to try and drop in front of him. Derek Justice, a huge run out of turn 2 with the push from Jeremy Miller and shoving him down the back straightaway. They are linked up, looks like old school tandem drafting, as at the front they are able to take the positions away. Jimmy Mullis loses his drafting help from Connor Horn, and now Jeremy Miller peaking a little high here. Is he going to make the move? Nope, going to stay in line as they are nose to tail, going to complete lap number 30 here. And just 50 to go as they complete that lap. 28 laps on this set of tires and fuel. Right now your running order is Derek Justice, Jeremy Miller, Connor Horn, Keith Mayato, and Jimmy Mullis, the top 5. Eric Royce, Chris Simard, Wade Husted, Nicholas Short, and Anthony Burrows, the top 10. Kirk Marble, Ian Smith, Matt Kemp, Zach Nichols, and Dylan Parker, the top 15, and all those drivers on the lead lap. The only driver off the lead lap is Josh Lambert, who started in 11th. He lost the pack there early in this run after going way down on the apron and had to back out of it, and he went a lap down in the process. And he's hanging with these guys right now, waiting for something to happen. He's going to get out of the way of Ian Smith, who goes to the inside, and Ian trying to gather back some of his the ground that he lost there by jumping out 3 wide a little while ago. But not going the right direction at the moment. Out in front, Derek Justice, a huge push from Jimmy Mullis, and they have gotten out in front. The top 5 or 6 now single file, with Nicholas Short back here just in front of Keith Mayato, who battles side by side with Eric Royce. And Wade Husted now going to slip past Royce, as well as Anthony Burrows, Ian Smith, and Royce going the wrong direction. 3 wide with Kirk Marble, who he got caught up with on lap number 1. And that will send the 72 all the way to the back of the pack here in 15th position. He drops in behind Dylan Parker. And Dylan looking for a solid run here tonight. I'm just going to look through this season's results and see where he is. His best finish of the season also came last week at Chicago with a top 5 run. And looks like we have a few cars on pit lane. The 30 of Jeremy Miller going around. He locks it up. Let's take a look at what happened here. Connor Horn came down. The 30, just too much rear brake bias, and Connor Horn almost locked it up. How about Eric Royce bringing it down that time as well? And probably going to result in a penalty for Jeremy Miller besides the lost time. And not a mistake you want to make under green flag conditions. Trying to get a good view of that race car. Not able to find a camera angle to show him, but Derek Justice leading the field now. Jimmy Moas, as they come out of turn number 4, Moas going to bring it down pit lane along with basically everyone else. Oh, locking up the brakes there. Everybody getting on cleanly. Trying to see if anybody made a mistake there, but Josh Lambert going to stay on the racetrack and hope for something to happen. But field getting into their boxes here at the exit of the pit lane under green. Let's see where our other drivers are coming down. Connor Horn just coming through 3 and 4 right now. He's got no help. Eric Royce a whole 3 seconds behind him. But looking like he'll probably get up there and race it up with those guys. As they are all making their way off pit lane, he will rejoin the pack. Eric Royce will catch on to the tail end of it. And then Jeremy Miller, who is up here leading at one point, he is well behind after a long pit stop, but also the spin on pit entry. Really going to put the 30 on the back foot here, and it is going to be difficult to recover from that if we continue to stay green. But out in front, your top two, Derek Justice, Jimmy Mullis, leading Wade Hustad and Zach Nichols. And we've got a couple tandems working. The 99 of Nicholas Short trying to reel those two in, but not having any success just yet, as it has really gotten into tandem drafting. We see Chris Simard, Keith Mayato, nose to tail alongside Anthony Burrows and Connor Horn. And the longer they do that side by side, the slower they are going to go. So somebody's going to have to figure out where to go, as the 25 of Dylan Parker going to catch up here, and he'll stick right behind Connor Horn. He'll try and make a move around. Connor going to get spun out by Dylan Parker. And a great save. He's coming back up on the racetrack, though, locking up the tires onto the banking. And right in the middle of the banking, Connor unable to slow that machine down any quicker. And that will split up the pit cycle. Let's take a look at how that all started. Looking at Connor Horn, Dylan Parker with a huge run out of the corner. He goes one way to the outside, comes down to the inside, and Connor maybe didn't know that he was there, but that sends Connor down into the grass here. Great save. But let's go to a different view of what happened. See if we can figure out where Connor went. Connor went high. And then just a tiny little tap there from Dylan. And that upset the number 8 Speedway machine, sent him down through the grass. And locking up the brakes there as he got up onto the banking. 48 machine to Matt Kemp able to get around. And that will bring out caution number 2 here. Derek Justice is your leader. He's led 11 laps tonight. And a small field here. We still have 15 drivers in the race. Josh Lambert looks like he took it behind the wall after going a lap down. That really saves Jeremy Miller, though, who was going to be well behind the pack. And we'll try and get a word in with one of the drivers out here while he stays on the racetrack. And let's see if we can get a word in with Mr. Derek Justice. And I do not see him in here, so we're going to have to find somebody else. Let's talk with Mr. Nicholas Short and see if he's got anything to say to us here about how this race is going. Nicholas Short, this is Adam in the V-Speed booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got a copy. What's up?
Well, Nick, you find yourself up here in the top 5 after that pit cycle. It's been pretty clean racing so far, but how's the race going for you here, and how's the car feel?
That's going pretty good. I'm just trying to ride, and I mean, there's still 42 laps to go, so make sure I survive. There's a lot of guys that are already out or have a lot of damage, so just doing my best to keep this thing on the track. It looks like this might be a fuel mileage race if it stays green, so that'll be interesting.
Yeah, I was gonna say it looks like it was pretty close to the fuel window, with just over 40 to go, so that'll be an interesting thing for sure. A whole different element. One thing I wanted to ask is we've got a fairly small field here tonight, so how important is it for you to make smart moves here and not lose the pack, and really just try and time your moves the best you can?
Oh, it's important with a big field as well, but yeah, for sure. Especially with some of the damaged cars, they really got to make important moves, and they aren't going to be lifting for you because if they lift, they're losing the pack. But I think it's relatively easy with a smaller field to keep with the lead group. There's less people to keep with,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah, that makes sense. I was thinking that if you didn't get any help or something, if everybody was trying to stay on the low line and you try to make a move but no one goes with you, you think it's tough to hang on at the back of the pack with this this new aero package, or do the big spoilers and the added downforce help a lot as you try and catch back up?
Well, I'd say the big spoilers, you definitely, compared to February and the Daytona 500, the old package we had there, for NIS, you get way bigger runs on people than you did back then. So I actually think it's easier to keep with the pack and make moves, and it makes you feel like a superhero when you're right behind somebody, and you get a lot of guys pulling silly moves because of that, but it makes the racing good.
Yeah, and it's been pretty exciting so far. We've seen a lot of leapfrogging going back and forth for the top spot, and even within the top 10. But I think you guys probably getting the 1 degree next time, and we want to thank you for jumping up here in the booth with us and answering some questions. Anybody you want to give a shout out to before you go racing again?
Like to, I'm not on a team, so I'd like to give a shout out to myself. I'm a privateer. So yeah, I give a shout out to the series, all the sponsors, for everything you do. You guys have put on a good league so far, and I'm excited to finish out the season with you guys.
Awesome, Nick. Well, good luck in the rest of the race here at Daytona, and maybe we'll talk to you at the end.
Yeah, hopefully. See you guys.
All right, thank you. That was Nicholas Short in the number 99, and he's actually going to restart in the second position as a couple drivers taking it down pit lane there to get a little bit more fuel in the race car, I think. So definitely a curveball here. And we will have to talk to Derek maybe under the next caution. But definitely insightful there to hear from a driver on the racetrack. Just how these cars are handling, how they kind of suck up to each other with the tall spoilers. And definitely different from the way these cars used to handle and race around these racetracks. Just so much more competitive among the drivers here. And even with damage, you are able to kind of hang with the guys in front of you because of the huge gap in the air from those massive spoilers. It's gonna be a good rest of the race here, just passing halfway. So if you haven't already, please shout out your favorite driver in chat. Let us know who you're cheering for, and we will follow along with them throughout the rest of the event like we always do. We want to thank you for tuning in here. If you haven't already, please consider following or subscribing. It goes a long way to allowing us to bring you great content each and every week. So, and we've got Tiger Shark in chat cheering for Derek and Jimmy Mullis, and thank you for the follow, Tiger Shark. Appreciate that. Thanks for tuning in here. Thanks for chatting it up. As Wade Hustad, Nicholas Short on the front row. Short gonna get to the line there, and he will lead the lap and drop down in front. Thank you, Fenrir, for the follow. Thanks for tuning in. Hope you're enjoying the broadcast as we are past halfway now, and all 15 drivers, or 14 drivers now, as Jimmy Mullis took it behind the wall. So only 14 drivers left on the racetrack, and this is a huge opportunity for someone new to get a win here, as the only driver, I believe, with a win that's on the racetrack is Anthony Burrows in the 62. No one else on the track has won, as the only two other winners that had won this season are out of the event. So going to be a huge shakeup there. Also, as far as points, some of those guys retiring early, they may lose a couple spots to these guys who run out the rest of the race. And the 99 of Nicholas Shore on the inside. Ian Smith up high, trying to take that lead away. And these guys have just done a fantastic job all night racing it out side by side as they work down the back straightaway. Ian Smith going to drop down in line, and he is going to leave the 30 up high. And Jeremy going to try and fill a hole in line, but nowhere to go, as Chris Simard, Keith Mayato, and Kirk Marble all nose to tail. He's going to have to get some help from Eric Royce, who's way back there on the high line, and they're just losing ground. Derek Justice coming to fill in the spot behind Anthony Burrows. And he is there now, so looks like the 30 of Jeremy Miller probably going to drop all the way to the rear. But now he finds a spot behind Burrows. Derek Justice leaving that gap open. And now the 30 going to use a little more momentum, a huge run. You can see it right here. And he has led 10 laps tonight. Obviously a very good race car, and has a good feel for what he's doing with this new package. As he works the outside all by himself, trying to get the side draft going and pull this low line back. And he is gaining ground very quickly. This is not something I expected, but carrying that run all the way up to next to the third place driver of Wade Hustad. So Jeremy Miller working that draft to perfection, but he's got no help, and I think this is the point where the run ends, and there's nowhere to slot in line. But still working the side draft. He's still able to stay alongside Hustad, and now up alongside Nicholas Short. The 30 machine is flying. And here comes Anthony Burrows with a massive run up behind him. Just closed up about 5 or 10 car lengths. And he's right on the back bumper, going to give him a shot into the tri-oval here. And Jeremy Miller looking to take the lead once again, but Ian Smith hangs on to it at the line. And I don't know what the difference was there at the line there, but it was probably less than 1/100th of a second. Is now Hustad jumping up high, but they split the 30, and Jeremy Miller left to deal with the side draft from both sides, and it is not going to help him. He is getting sucked backwards, as now Dylan Parker looking for a spot to drop in line. Not enough room there. He almost made the move, but he is going to get hung out to dry. Now Hustad jumps up in front of him, and we are 3 wide for the lead. Ian Smith has it. Anthony Burrows there, Wade Hustad on the outside line. And it's getting good here just past halfway. Everybody pushing through the corners here. That is dangerous, but the 30 of Jeremy Miller giving a huge run to the 62 of Anthony Burrows. And this is how they look down the back straightaway. Dylan Parker scrubbed the wall there, and he loses a ton of ground, but those top 8 have broken away. And behind them, it's Chris Simard and Keith Mayato, Derek Justice, Matt Kemp, and Zach Nichols, as Dylan Parker dropping now into that final position. But all of those drivers single file and not really losing any ground at the moment, but trying to stay out of trouble here. And Derek Justice back in the 11th spot. He has led 12 laps, but pitted a little bit later than some of those other drivers, hoping that he can make it on fuel. And we got a shake up here. 3 wide again. Ian Smith to the lead. Jeremy Miller up the middle. Nicholas Short right there behind Ian Smith. The 72 of Eric Royce, a little bobble in the center of the corner, and that was a little scary. As Kirk Marble was down low, he saw his life flash before his eyes for the second time tonight, as he works down there in the third position on the low line. Anthony Burrows, Wade Hustad dropping in front of this line of race cars back here. Dylan Parker on the outside of Zach Nichols, trying to gain some of those positions back. And that is the V emote. You can get that by subscribing. Thanks to the Weeg for tuning in. Hope you're having a good night. The 99 machine of Nicholas Short sticking the nose out in front. He's got Kirk Marble in that Scooby-Doo paint scheme, pushing him down the short chute here to the tri-oval. And across the start-finish line, the 99 of Short going to lead that lap. Ian Smith up high. And this group of 8 continues to battle it out. Dylan Parker making good ground back here. Up on the outside now of Chris Simard, and I think Chris maybe just going to let him go here, as Dylan now closing in on those top 8. He's got a big run in the works. You can see the gap just close so quickly. Let's see where he goes with it here. Up to the back bumper of Connor Horn, gives him a push, and now off the throttle. Slaying back a little bit as he sees a little chaos up in front, maybe trying to settle in here as the 72 of Eric Royce going to get shuffled out. He'll be in the third lane. And he will drop back in line behind Connor Horn. Dylan Parker going to go with him as well. And pushing down the back straightaway into turn number 3, Ian Smith has reclaimed the lead over Nicholas Short, but Jeremy Miller looking to the outside, not going to go yet. And he is all over the back bumper. He's now going to go to the outside and try the third lane, but no one goes with him. And that is going to send him backwards. Yeah, you can sometimes work the second lane by yourself, but the third lane is almost surely caused to be sent to the back. As now Connor Horn dropping in front of him. Eric Royce hanging up there with Ian Smith, and Ian went from the lead now to the 4th position and falling, and he gets a huge shot from Eric Royce. And Wade Hustad down low next to Ian. And the 28 starting to make a comeback here with that push from Eric Royce. And it really does seem like the tandem drafting is another element to this package. You can actually make it work, which is a bit surprising to me. I have run a decent amount of plate races with the new package, but they've been kind of spread out, and I haven't gotten to try it out too much. But all I know is the draft is way more powerful than it used to be, and the side draft actually works now, to an extent at least. But Nicholas Short doesn't have to worry about that yet, as he is out in front leading Kirk Marble in this group of 8. Chris Simard in the 9th position, leading his teammate Keith Mayato and a few other drivers as they just stay single file, trying to stay out of trouble here and out of harm's way by laying back just a little bit. Also taking a little bit of that draft is Wade Hustad with a little bit of contact from Connor Horn. Sends him down onto the apron. Great save, and he will recollect himself and get that car back underneath and headed in the right direction. He didn't really lose any spots as Chris Simard and that pack behind him were well behind. And Wade now settling in line behind Connor Horn. Meanwhile, Ian Smith had a huge run going into turn number 1 there. Not sure what happened, but they lost a ton of ground through the center of the corner. And here comes Jeremy Miller now to the inside, working under Eric Royce. who started to squeeze him there, but not before Jeremy could then get back up on the outside line here. The 62 of Anthony Burrows, as I mentioned, he is the only winner this season that is left in the race after starting with just 20 drivers. Only 3 winners were in the field. We've had a handful this season. We've had 6 different winners. Jimmy Mullis, the only multi-time winner in this league this year. So looking for somebody new to get a victory tonight, possibly. And who's your pick to win tonight, guys? Could be anyone out here. Are we going to see a new winner, or is Anthony Burrows going to go for his second victory? He started on the pole here, so he knows how to get around here pretty quickly. Currently riding in that 4th position after leading 4 laps. We're working lap number 56 out of 80. We're going to go quickly to a side-by-side, so don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with more racing action.
Okay, we're going to keep this quick.
Because at Blaze Pizza,
artisanal quality at crazy fast speed is what we're all about.
Fresh dough made from scratch daily.
Walk the line and choose any toppings you'd like.
It's all one price.
Then it's just 180 seconds in our blazing hot oven
For fast bar perfection.
That's Blaze Pizza. Sound good?
Then come check us out and build your own pizza at Blaze Pizza.
With the Butt Kicker Gamer 2, what you see and what you hear is what you feel. Butt Kicker. The future is feeling.
At Crockett Creek Beef Jerky, we don't have fancy Madison Avenue advertising. We don't have famous Hollywood endorsements. We don't have mythical creatures as mascots. See, here at Crockett Creek, we're proud of what we don't have. No artificial preservatives or chemicals, gluten-free, and no added MSG. Just all natural, small batch protein made in the foothills of the Smoky Mountains. Enjoy Crockett Creek Jerky, from our backyard to yours.
We were 3 wide there for just a moment. So I want to thank our sponsors once again, Crockett Creek Beef Jerky, Blaze Pizza, the Butt Kicker, as well as Next Level Racing. If you are watching here, we put the link in the chats for Butt Kicker and Crockett Creek, but you can save 20% on any purchase at the Butt Kicker website using the code NORSE20. You got the code right up there on your screen. So if you are looking for some Butt Kicker products, then check out their website. Use the code NORSE20. It helps with the league here, as well as saves you some money on those products. Awesome immersion adding products. So check those guys out and thank them. And we want to thank them for being a sponsor here. Is Nicholas Short leading the field right now. He has led 11 laps, which might be the most. As the 72 of Eric Royce really trying to shove that car up the middle. And he made it work, but man, that was a close call. Not a lot of room to be found, but he took every square inch of it, as Jeremy Miller now going to drop in behind him. And if you are interested in advertising here on V-Speed, you can contact us at vspeedsim@gmail.com. The link or the email is down in the panels below the stream here, so check that out if you're interested in contacting us. Or you can head to our website, vspeedsim.com. and find us over there. We sell a lot of cool merchandise and things of that nature as well, but you can consider sponsoring with us, get some good advertising to the iRacing market. So please consider doing so if you've got a product or service that you would like to display. We are definitely open to a lot of different offers. As the 72 of Eric Royce dropping down in line behind Ian Smith, that was an aggressive move. And Eric now to the second spot, but Nicholas Short right there behind him, probably hoping he can get out in front of those two. As we are at 20 to go, coming to 19 now. Beef jerky sounds amazing. Oh, contact! Nicholas Short, the 61 of Kirk Marble, the 8 of Connor Horn. And how did they save it? Holy cow. Let's see exactly how that happened. Going into the corner here. The 30 and the 99 get together. The 99 coming back up on track, gets into the 61 and the 8. And that is definitely going to slow those guys down, but where are the rest of the drivers? Where is Keith Mayato and Chris Samard? Way back here at the tail end of the pack. Wade Hustad was able to get past. Zach Nichols, Matt Kemp, Derek Justice, all gaining on that lead pack, and we are fairly spread out at the moment. Ian Smith leading the field now, and Nicholas Short with a bit of right side damage. You can see it there. And now 3 wide, here comes Derek Justice to the high side, trying to make something happen in the last quarter of this race. Not a lot of time remaining. They're shuffling Nicholas Short to the back as Eric Royce gives the 31 a big push here. Does Derek bring him along, or does he drop down in line? Thank you, SM Casey, for following, tuning in here on V-Speed. Derek Justice closing into the front after waiting at the back there for such a long time. We also see Matt Kemp and Zach Nichols. Thank you, Too Many Cakes, for the follow. Thank you so much for tuning in, guys. Appreciate the support here tonight. This is the NORSEFORCE Valhalla Cup Series live from Daytona. 200 miles, 80 laps here. And Ian Smith out in front. Right now, Anthony Burrows, Jeremy Miller, Derek Justice, Matt Kemp, your top 5, as Matt jumping up behind Derek Justice. And here comes Zach Nichols as well. Those two who worked so well together and had great races last week at Chicagoland. Trying to get up there and battle for the win tonight. This is their opportunity. Someone new is probably going to win tonight's race. Only one winner is left in the field, and that's Anthony Burrows, unless he can repeat from his win earlier in the season at Atlanta, where he stole it on a last lap pass. Derek Justice getting the push out in front by Matt Kemp, who's pushing him through the corner. A little blinking issue there for the 44 of Zach Nichols. And now the top 10 are all side by side down into the tri-oval here. 15 to go at the line. And this race closing up pretty quickly here. 14 drivers on the lead lap. Connor Horn is well off the pace in 14th after getting slammed into the wall. He has a lot of damage on that race car. Keith Mayato, the last driver in this lead pack, with his teammate Chris Samard right there. I'm sure those two waiting for their moment. I've run a lot of races with those two, and I know that they're pretty good at waiting for the right time to get going. And that is what they've been doing here for this second half of the race. Not an exciting way to do it for sure, but it can be an effective one, as Ian Smith getting the nose back out in front over Derek Justice. And no, it does not look like Connor Horn pitted. He is just 35 seconds back and well off the pace. About 11 seconds a lap right now off the leader's times. And he's running about 40 miles an hour slower, so they are catching him rapidly. And it's probably just going to be a couple laps, or not even, 28 machine of Ian Smith on the outside. Derek Justice on the outside. Ian Smith on the low side, followed by Anthony Burrows and Matt Kemp, as we see a big wiggle from Eric Royce. That's going to shuffle Nicholas Short out of line as Connor Horton rides the apron up in front. And he will not be in the way as they make their way around. Now he is going to go a lap down and be the only driver scored off the lead lap. And Derek Justice, Ian Smith out in the front. Those two have worked well together so many times, and now Derek Justice is going to drop in line in front of his drafting buddy there, Ian Smith. And now the 48 of Matt Kemp up in the high line with his drafting buddy, Zach Nichols. And a big push from Zach as they come across the start-finish line. Just over 10 to go. And we've got some comers and goers. The top two now breaking a little bit away. It's the outside line not able to cope with them. Jeremy Miller was looking to jump out there, but didn't feel that was the right time. I'm sure he's waiting to make that move. And everybody trying to get what they can get before all chaos breaks out with about 5 to go. Keith Mayato, Chris Simard starting to lose ground. Oh, we got drivers coming to pit lane. A lot of drivers. Ian Smith leading them in here. Oh, contact. Eric Royce gets hit by Wade Hustad. They stay in line, though, able to hang on to it with 72. Great job. And that will leave just a handful of vehicles on the racetrack. Matt Kemp, Zach Nichols, Chris Simard, Keith Mayato, Kirk Marble, Derek Justice. All out here as this little pack at 3 trying to push back up there and close in on the rest of them. And going to be 10 to go at the line here. Jeremy Miller wins the battle off pit lane. 2 tires the call for most of these drivers, and going to be a little wiggly down on that apron. I would not be surprised to see somebody spin it. As Jeremy Miller really checking up Ian Smith. Here comes Anthony Burrows with a huge run off the pit lane behind them. And now Ian going to the inside, and not a lot of room being given here. Oh, contact coming up onto the track. Oh, Jeremy Miller gonna turn Ian Smith. Holy cow, that's interesting. I don't know what happened there, but let's go back to when they came off the pit lane. Yeah, he just hooked him. I mean, I know Ian was right on his back bumper on the apron here and got a better run out of the corner. Coming out of turn 2 here, you see the run, and he was just trying to get up past him. The 30 would not let him up onto the racetrack. Ian was going to have to come up. He just comes up a little, and then the 30 bounces down into him. And that sends Ian Smith around. And that is going to shake things up here, as some drivers going to have to get fresh tires and a bit of fuel. And everybody else on the lead lap, so not sure what the admins are going to do here about that 30. That looked like it could have been intentional. I'm not sure if it was or not, but definitely didn't look good, and I'm not sure who's on the pit lane here and where the pace car is. We're all shaken up. It looks like the 31 machine of Derek Justice going to lead this group out of the pit lane along with Zach Nichols, and they are behind the pace car right now. So I think Zach Nichols might be your race leader, the number 44 Crockett Creek beef jerky machine and under 10 to go. Yes, sir, that was a gaggle of cars for sure coming on the pit lane. I can't believe they all survived, but obviously didn't survive the exit. And Jeremy Miller back on the pit lane here. Not sure if the admins have told him to park it or anything. Ian Smith making it into his box here. And it remains to be seen if there will be any kind of payback for that move. Ian's usually a very level-headed and calm driver, so I wouldn't really expect it. But you never know. I mean, in position to potentially take the lead there on the exit of pit lane, that definitely was an interesting situation. It's at the front. It is actually Anthony Burrows. So it looks like, yeah, I'm not sure if this timing is right or not. We're going to have to see what happens here as everybody gets either waved around or what. And it is still scoring Anthony Burrows as your leader. So Anthony, the 62 machine, you can see all these cars in front of him are actually tail end of the lead lap. So we still have 14 drivers on the racetrack. Kirk Marble has been sitting on pit lane for 2.5 minutes. He is in the 14th spot. And I'm not sure who set up these pit lane cameras, but they are not in the right spot. Connor Horn also 1 lap down. He was able to sit and get some damage repaired, but still off the lead lap. Matt Kemp here, tail end of the lead lap in the 12th position. He's up 3 spots from where he started. And I guess we'll just kind of run through the rest of the field since we've already started that. Keith Mayato in 11th, started 14th. Chris Simard in 10th. He started on the front row alongside Anthony Burrows, but has kind of had an up and down race here. Derek Justice started 18th. He's currently in the 9th spot. He's led 15 laps here, which might be up there with the most. Zach Nichols started 16th. He's currently 8th and has led a lap. Wade Hustad has led 9 laps after starting in 4th. He's in the 7th spot. Ian Smith in 6th. He's led 12 laps. Dylan Parker has is up to 5th after starting at 12th. He hasn't led any laps just yet, but in the mix for sure. Jeremy Miller has led 12 laps as well. Started in 4th. Started 3rd. He is in 4th. I think he may be getting an EOL here. As pace car lights are still on, I'm not sure what's taking so long here. But Dylan Parker now to 4th. Eric Royce in 3rd after starting 7th. Nicholas Short started 8th. He is in the 2nd position and has led 13 laps. And Anthony Burrows started on the pole, currently running in 1st. And he has led 7 laps here and looking for his 2nd victory of the year. And his 1st since Atlanta. Quite a few weeks back now. That was, I believe, race number 4 about a month ago. So Anthony looking for another win here. He would be the 2nd repeat winner behind Jimmy Mullis, and Anthony is your points leader coming into the event. Connor Horn was 2nd, but continues to have some bad luck as he's on the pit lane, getting some damage repaired. So Connor not having the race that he would have liked here tonight. Still probably going to hang on to 2nd or 3rd position in points. Matt Kemp is still out here, who is 3rd in points. So Matt in the 12th spot, only really 1 spot in front of Connor. So if Matt doesn't gain a few spots here, and I think we should be getting the one to go this time by. The driver's going to have to make their way back around. Let's take a look here. Pace car lights are off. They're going to get the wave around, and they should be able to catch up to the back of the pack, but going to be a pretty long way around. If you're enjoying the broadcast, please consider getting your own V-Speed merch. You can support the stream and the iRacing community. And the first 25 to use the code NORSE5 will save $5 on your purchase of $10 or more. We've got some great items in the shop, from hats to t-shirts, stickers, magnets, whatever you might like. We also offer our own design services as well as other consultation services. So check out our website, see if there's anything that you're interested in. And of course, check out our shop. Use the code NORSE5 to save $5 off your purchase. $10 or more, some great merchandise there. And we want to thank you for tuning in again. Race number 8 of the NORSEFORCE Valhalla Cup Series. Great turnout for the audience here tonight. I want to thank all you guys for tuning in, and hope you guys are enjoying the broadcast. This is going to be a wild one, as they're going to get a green flag with 4 to go, and the top 8 will be side by side. Derek Justice, actually Zach Nichols rather, leading the field up to these guys who are on the lead lap. Kirk Marble up in the mix there. He is 2 laps down, but still on the racetrack. Connor Horn now catching up as well. And we are back under green here. Anthony Burrows in the lead, looking for win number 2 on the season. Only 4 laps between himself and victory lane. But it's going to get hectic here, and if you think he's going to be able to hang on to this, you should throw that in the chat, but it is not guaranteed, as here comes Nicholas Short up on the high line of the damaged 99 machine. A big push from Dylan Parker down the back straightaway. Wade Husted also on the bumper. He looks to the middle now. And not enough room there, but the 99 up high. Here comes Dylan Parker now, going to shut the door on Husted. Derek Justice closing in on that 3rd lane. And we'll see if he gets any kind of push here or any help. But it looks like nobody joining him. Here comes Keith Mayato, who's going to swing up to that high lane and try and make something happen from the back of the pack. And the 99 trying to cover the 3rd lane as well as that middle one, which could be dangerous. That's offsetting your bumpers and can really lead to a disaster. But Anthony Burrows, meanwhile, pulling away. Eric Royce on his back bumper, along with Ian Smith, who was caught up in that last caution, but able to get back in the mix here and coming to 2 to go. Next time, Anthony Burrows just pulling away. Nobody's trying anything. Ian Smith up the racetrack now, 4 wide. That is not going to work for very long. And oh, contact. Nicholas Short. Oh, Keith Mayato goes flying. 3 cars out in front of it. And Jeremy Miller gets taken out. His engine, I believe, is blown. And what a crash. Let's go take a look at what happened. Me, like, so I think it kind of started with Ian Smith here in the middle. He goes from the low line, just barely enough room. He jumps up in front of Nicholas Short, kind of a wobbly move, and he gets bumped up. And I need to go to a different camera. Keith Mayato goes flipping through the air. Let's see what happened down the short chute here. The 99 and the 28 just come together, and they get into the 30 of Jeremy Miller. That pinches the 36 of Mayato, who's going to have heavy damage. That car crab walking pretty badly. Let's go on board, like we always do when cars go flying. And that is definitely sickening. So Keith able to drive away, luckily, but Chris Samard absolutely destroyed. See if we can find out what happened to Keith or Chris. He went up to the high line, just slams into Ian Smith, who's going to have tons of rear end damage. Follow along with Jeremy Miller. He gets hooked in the left or the right rear, pinches up in a Miato and goes for a spin cycle, but not too horrible. And yeah, a little bit of door banging there in the middle of the pack between those two that we saw caught up in the previous caution, and that's going to leave just a handful of drivers on the racetrack. Anthony Burrows is your leader, and we're going to get a green-white checkered here, so headed to overtime. I don't know how this is going to go. Derek Justice, of course, looking for his first victory of the season. Right here in the third spot, Eric Royce hanging on to second. He has been up and down all race. Bit of damage on the rear end, but not too bad. Wade Hustad in the fourth position. Dylan Parker in fifth. Zach Nichols in the sixth spot. He was able to survive that mess. Matt Kemp as well, able to survive it. Somehow Keith Miato still driving out here with that car after it flew through the air. And you can see it's just pinched up on all four corners. The back end just scrunched in. And it is not driving straight. If we go to this view, you can see it's pointed clearly to the right. But the car is definitely moving straight, so Nicholas Short able to continue on as well. He sat on pit lane for 51 seconds. And Chris Samard still driving out here, but no nose on the race car. Jeremy Miller making his way off. Ian Smith going to be right there behind him. And those are the last 12 on the lead lap. Connor Horn 1 lap down. Kirk Marble 1 lap down as well. Definitely getting dramatic here in the closing laps of this race, but we're going to cut quickly to a word from Next Level Racing, and we'll be right back with the green flag. Back at the racetrack now. Yes, sir, the WEAG, we just put that in the chat there. You can check out Next Level Racing products at their website, nextlevelracing.com. They are a sponsor of the series here, and they're going to be giving away a cockpit to one of these drivers at some point throughout the season, which is pretty exciting. But we are double file on the racetrack. Anthony Burrows, Eric Royce, your front row. Row 2, Derek Justice and Wade Hustad. The third row, Dylan Parker and Zach Nichols. And fourth row is Matt Kemp and Keith Mayato. Nicholas Short right back here with 61. Kirk Marble, who's off the lead lap. Ian Smith catching up to the field here. Chris Samard also trying to get more damage repaired. And he has caught back up, but we're going to be going green, so Burrows in control of the restart, looking for his second victory of the year, and nothing is guaranteed at these plate tracks. Green flag in the air. He gets a good jump. Eric Royce not able to time it quite as well, but he'll get a shove from Wade Hustad. No, Hustad jumps to the inside, and these guys trying to figure out where they want to go. Zach Nichols now to the back bumper of Eric Royce, but they have lost all the ground in the world at this point. The top 5 single file. Nicholas Short trying to get by underneath. There goes Nichols to the inside, and now Hustad jumps up. Here comes Derek Justice. Doesn't have the run just yet. Now he does. He's got a push from Dylan Parker. Anthony Burrows all by himself down low. And it's 3 wide right now. This is sketchy. Derek Justice with a huge shot from Dylan Parker. Derek Justice gonna take the lead. Coming to the white flag this time by. It's 3 wide now, 2 wide among the top 6 or 7. And a bunch of damaged cars behind. Dylan Parker to the outside. He's gonna take the lead away from Derek Justice. Here comes Matt Kemp on his back bumper. And Anthony Burrows now giving a huge shot. Oh, the 48 gets turned by Nichols. They tag into the wall. The 60 or the 99. Anthony Burrows now on the back bumper of Derek Justice. Here comes Dylan Parker, who's going to get the help from the 25, and that's going to decide the race. Or does the 25 try and hang on for himself? Derek Justice trying to clear the 62 out of the corner. It's going to be close. Nose to nose. Coming out of turn number 4. The 25 goes low. 3 wide at the line. Dylan Parker. Can he get there? Oh, I don't know. Dylan Parker by 3/1000ths of a second. Dylan Parker snuck it in there, and he takes the win. Holy cow, what a job. He led 1 lap. He really just led about 1 foot as he starts his celebration all the way on the backstretch. Let's see if we can go to a slow-mo instant replay. Maybe not that slow. Let's see if we can get a nice close-up of these guys. And that was a heck of a finish. I cannot believe that. Here's a great shot of it. Those 3 banging doors. The 25 of Dylan Parker. And he takes the victory. Holy cow. He's got to be just ecstatic here. What a race. I wish I could have gotten a better look at that. Let's see if we can find another one here. Dylan Parker just absolutely stealing that one away. We need to find this one. And that's as close as it gets, folks, right there. Holy moly. I thought Derek had the win, and then I thought Anthony had the win, and then I'm like, oh, maybe Dylan got there. And Dylan Parker is your winner. What a job by that driver to take that one away. Holy moly. As he does his celebratory burnout. Oh, and gets slammed there, but Dylan Parker leading 1 lap, really leading about 1 foot, takes the victory. And that is as close as it gets. And he did it as clean as you can, just textbook move. Derek Justice actually came home in 3rd, so just a little bit short. Let's see if we can get a word in now with our winner, Mr. Dylan Parker. Dylan Parker, this is Adam, the V-Speed booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Well, Dylan, I bet you can't even believe it. We weren't even sure who won that race, but you snuck it out there at the last moment. I think you led about 1 foot, and that was the only time you were out in front here tonight. How excited are you for the victory here tonight?
I don't think I've ever been so excited for a plate win. I mean, probably woke up everyone in my house because I yelled so loud, but that was crazy. I couldn't have even. I won it in the most craziest way you could win it too.
Yeah, that was a heck of a finish. We had people in chat just like saying, "Oh my gosh, it was so close. We got to send that clip to iRacing because you guys put on a heck of a battle and you got through there. I don't know how you did it, but you were behind those two as they raced side by side, and were you giving it everything you got, or were you kind of hanging, waiting for them to make a mistake and sneak in there?"
I was just trying to do everything I could just to get a run, and then I saw Anthony and Derek were kind of getting real close to each other. Maybe they touched each other and lost some momentum. And I just took it down to the bottom and hoped it was enough to get in front of both of them.
Yeah, and it's about as clean as you can do it, too. I mean, you touched doors a little bit right before the line, but, I mean, there was room, and you took it, and you steal this thing away. And you had a top 5 last week at Chicagoland, now the win. So, you know, how much confidence does this give you moving forward to have these 2 great runs back-to-back?
Well, last week was a bit more of a confidence booster because, you know, it's not plate racing. It's a bit more skill. You use a bit more skill. That was a bit more fun with tires. This race was just whoever could maybe survive and get to the end and put themselves in the right position. But this is definitely, it feels nice to win it. I can say that for sure.
Yeah, I'm sure it does. It's always just so intense in those last laps, especially with the green-white checkered. And, you know, you come out on top here, beating out some of the best, Anthony Burrows and Derek Justice. You know, definitely no slouches when it comes to iRacing. So just a great run for you here, and you kind of laid back for a lot of the race, and you got up in the mix now and then, but taking it when it matters. And we head to Darlington next week. So, what are your thoughts on going out there?
Just stay safe till the end. Darlington's never really been my best racetrack. Sometimes I can be fast, but long runs just really are my thing there. So just try to come out with a top 10 maybe. I don't know. Seems to be either I finish in top 10 or just wreck, so I just hope it's a top 10.
Yeah, and it seems like you found a bit of consistency here, though, at least with these last couple of races, so hopefully that continues when we head to the Lady in Black there. But before we let you go to celebrate this incredible victory, anybody you want to give a shout-out to that made it possible?
I just want to shout out Matthew and everyone who helps put this league up, everyone who races every week. You for doing the broadcast. Everyone just helps me do this. It's really fun. It's a blast.
Awesome, Dylan. Well, once again, congratulations. I think you're going to enjoy this broadcast. Just seeing the ending there was definitely exciting. So go celebrate, man, and we'll catch up with you next week at Darlington.
Hope to see you there.
Awesome. That was Dylan Parker. Obviously, very excited about that victory, and who wouldn't be? Just an incredible race to the end there. I can't even believe it, how close that was. 3 1,000ths of a second. And it's not like Derek Justice was far back either. He was 7 1,000ths of a second. So Anthony Burrows is going to be our next one here in the booth. Let's see if we can get a word in with Mr. Burrows. Let's find him here. Anthony Burrows, Adam in the V-Speed booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got you.
Well, Anthony, you came about as close as you can to taking the victory there and almost getting your second of the season. But kind of run us through those last couple laps. Well, you restarted in the lead and took us through the overtime.
Yeah, I was planning on blocking just left and right to keep the lead, but I obviously didn't do too good of a job of doing that. They had too big of... and then, luckily, I was like top 3 on the final lap, so the wreck was behind me. And then it was just us 3 to the finish. Got a little help from Dylan. And he ended up making that 3-wide move out of 4, which I wasn't really expecting, and he barely got me at the line. That was super close.
Yeah, 3/1000ths of a second, and then you beat Derek by 4/1000ths of a second. So, 3 drivers within 1/100th is definitely incredible. And you started on the pole here tonight. I think you led the most laps. So, how important was it just being up towards the front and trying to stay out of the trouble here tonight?
Yeah, staying up at the front's always key. Just staying out of the wrecks. There weren't really a whole lot tonight, but always good to be safe though. I mean, the wrecks can happen really anywhere, but yeah, just being up at the front and being ahead of the wrecks is always a key to being there at the end of these things.
Yes, sir, indeed, and definitely showed tonight. Another top 3 finish for you here. This is your 8th consecutive top 10, and you've got a bunch of podiums here this season, almost another victory tonight. So, like we mentioned, basically every week, you've just started off on fire here this start of the season, and how good is it to come out of here with a solid finish and extend the points gap as we head to a place like Darlington next week?
Definitely feels good. I'm not really the greatest at Darlington, so gives me a bit of a buffer, so I don't really have to run all that well. Keep the points lead next week, so yeah, it definitely helps too. If I have a stretch of bad races at some point, that I still make the playoffs when it comes time. But yeah, definitely momentum too heading into the playoffs when that starts. So yeah, it's been great to start out like that.
Yeah, and I think at this rate, you're pretty much a shoo-in. Obviously, anything can happen, but I mean, you haven't finished worse than 6th all season, which is just kind of an incredible statistic. Your average finish coming into this race was 4th, so you're only going to improve that here and extend the points lead pretty significantly over Connor Horn, who didn't have his best race. So definitely a lot to look forward to going into next week. But yeah, once again, a solid run. Anybody you want to give a shout out to for tonight's 2nd place finish?
Yeah, definitely shout out to Dylan, Derek, Nick Short, Wade, and Ian. All of them for working with me and for all the clean racing tonight. Shout out to you guys for putting on the broadcast, and thank you everyone for watching.
Awesome, Anthony. Well, congratulations on 2nd place, and we'll catch up with you next week at Darlington.
Thank you.
All right, that was your 2nd place finisher, Anthony Burrows, who is on an incredible hot streak to open the season here. No finish worse than 6th, and I believe this is his 3rd or 4th podium finish of the season. Looks like it is his 3rd, but all but 1 top 5, so just an incredible opening sequence to this year. And let's go to 3rd place finisher Derek Justice, fan favorite here. Derek Justice, this is Adam in the V-Speed booth. You got a copy?
Sure, dude.
Well, hey, Derek, you got about as close as you could. You had the lead on that last lap, and they wrecked behind you, kind of left you sit and duck. But was there anything you think you could have done differently to try and hold those guys off?
Dude, definitely do a better job blocking the the move that's about to come, and I just didn't anticipate it soon enough. And if I anticipated a block by Dylan, I think we would have got the W there. But he made a good move, so props to him.
Yeah, and it was about as close as it could be. I was talking to Anthony just a moment ago. The 3 of you were separated by 1/100th of a second, so it's just an incredible number. I've never seen a race really that close among the top 3. So you did lead a lot of laps here, and it wasn't without. You weren't without your issues here. You had, I think you're caught up in a couple little things here and there and stuck mid-pack. So how hard was it to work through the field and try and climb back to the front there in the closing laps?
Well, I don't think I got in any wrecks today until literally the last 5 feet where we kind of banged doors at the end. So my car was relatively clean, I think. And just unfortunate caution during the green flag pit stops. I kind of put us behind the pit car for some reason, but that's somewhat it worked out in our favor and still got 3rd place finish. So, but yeah, it was pretty nuts. So, but we'll take a 3rd. I didn't get wrecked out on a restricted plate, so I'm happy about that.
Yeah, and I think this is going to be your best finish of the season. So, how much confidence does that give you moving it forward into a tough track like Darlington next week?
With this package, I have not even ran a lap at Darlington with the A car, so I don't know. Confidence, it's the same every week. I mean, a win, I mean not win, but a third place is a third place, but it's a restricted plate, so I wouldn't say it would be a confidence booster, but I think but after Darlington, I think Richmond will be a good track after that, and then we're just gonna throw away the roll for me because I'm no good at road courses. But other than that, for Darlington, I think I think it's the same thing I had to go through like I did tonight. Just avoid the wrecks because Darlington's gonna be tough to pass, and there's gonna be wrecks, people hitting the wall. So just guys keep it clean. Hopefully we can get another podium finish out of it.
Yes, sir, and we look forward to seeing if you can follow that up. But you say you're not so good at the road courses, but I've witnessed different in person, so I know you have skill there, and you're going to be somebody to contend with, even if you don't think you will be. But you've had a few solid runs here in recent weeks. You had a bad race to kind of open the season, and definitely carrying some momentum now. So we'll see if you can get another podium, like you said, next week. Anybody want to give a shout out to for tonight's third place finish?
Yeah, shout out to Speed Sim for putting on the broadcast and all the sponsors that put work into this to this league. Shout out to all my all the Twitch viewers out there for Speed Sim and also the mine. The support's fantastic, and of course shout out to Baskin Robbins and Pure Elite Tea. So.
Awesome, Derek. Well, congrats on third place, and we'll catch up with you next week at Darlington.
All right. Thanks, Adam.
All right, that was third place finisher Derek Justice. But once again, tonight's winner, Dylan Parker, started in the 12th position, and he led all but 1 foot pretty much at the end of this race. And just an incredible finish. 3 drivers separated by 1/100th of a second. Or actually 7/100ths or 7,000ths of a second is the difference between all 3 of them. So just an incredibly close finish, and a ton of blast there in the closing laps. But let's go through the rest of our results and a little recap of tonight's race, and we will head out of here. That is a big number of lead changes, 36 lead changes among the drivers here tonight. Even the small field, just a lot of lead changes. 4 cautions in the event tonight. We had 1 on lap number 1, and then we had a couple in the second half here. Had 1, I think, in the first 15 laps or so as well. But either way, Dylan Parker comes out on top, winning by 3/1000ths of a second over Anthony Burrows. So Dylan takes his first victory of the season, his best run of the year. After a nice solid run at Chicagoland last week, he backs that up with a victory. Anthony Burrows, once again, a top 3 finish, and he is just on a roll. Comes home in second here. Derek Justice, his best finish of the season, in third, 7/1000ths behind. Just so close, but not close enough. Eric Royce comes home fourth. Wade Hustad comes home in fifth here. Zach Nichols comes home in sixth, even after getting caught up in that incident on the last lap. Chris Samard comes home in seventh. Eighth will be Ian Smith. Ninth is Matt Kemp. 10th is going to be Nicholas Short. In 11th, it was Jeremy Miller, who was the last driver on the lead lap. Keith Mayato comes home in 12th. Kirk Marble comes home in the 13th position. Connor Horn comes home 14th. Jimmy Mullis took him behind the wall early. He comes home 15th. Josh Lambert comes home in 16th. Jonathan Hernandez, 17th. Dylan Alt, 18th. Briar LaPrade comes home in 19th. And Mark Kerrer comes home in the 20th position, last driver on the field. But it's all about Dylan Parker here tonight at Daytona. We want to thank you for tuning in on V-Speed. This is the NORSEFORCE Valhalla Cup Series. Race number 8 is in the books, and we're going to be headed to the Lady in Black next week. But we are going to be right back here tomorrow night with the Raider SK Modified Series. And let me just check and see where we're going with that one. It looks like we are going to be at Stafford tomorrow night in the SK Modified, so you won't want to miss that. The Raider Series just past halfway in their season, and those guys definitely picking up some steam here, and it's going to be a good one at Stafford. So tune in tomorrow night, same time at 9 p.m. here on VSpeed on Twitch. But if you enjoyed the broadcast, please consider following or subscribing. We really appreciate it. Thanks for all the new followers so far, and appreciate you guys tuning in. Hope you enjoyed the broadcast. You can find race replays over on YouTube, so you can check out last week's race at Chicagoland or any other race from this season over there on our YouTube channel, VSpeed Media. You can find us on Facebook at facebook.com/VSpeedSim, where we post race announcements before each and every broadcast. You can also find us on Instagram and Twitter, where we post the same announcements, as well as special events, new merchandise, and on-site reporting. So check us out over there. We want to thank all our sponsors of tonight's event: Blaze Pizza, Butt Kicker, Next Level Racing, and Crockett Creek Beef Jerky. I believe the folks from Crockett Creek were out here watching tonight, so thank you so much for tuning in, and appreciate your support here for this league and the broadcast. And get yourself some Crockett Creek Beef Jerky. Link is in the chat there. We'll put the link for all of these guys so you can go find them. Those are all the sponsors, so check them out. And we're going to jump in with one of our favorite streamers here. Let's see. We'll jump in with Derek Justice, who we just talked to. So you can enjoy some of his racing outside of the league here. He puts on a great show every night. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. We'll be back tomorrow night. Until then, stay safe and have a great night.